Ever notice that the moment that you decide to grow, everything starts feeling slightly out of control? The situation where the second you commit to the becoming, you commit to be more disciplined, you commit to like to be visible, then life doesn't just feel smoother, it actually gets louder, messier. And it's like, what the hell's going on? And for me, when I started expanding, saying yes to say bigger rooms or focusing on like fully being that interpreter, like wanting to show up daily and all those things. And I was expecting that momentum, like let things now fall in place, right? Mm-mm. What I didn't expect with all these things was those internal wobbles that showed up, that occurred, that made my nervous system feel unsettled. The old doubts started resurfacing from nowhere. Like they just, and I just wanted to just retreat. I just wanted to just get back to how things were. It just felt so uncomfortable. And part of me generally thought, oh my goodness, this is not working. Why am I even bothering with this thing? What's the point, right? What do I think I'm doing? Well, here's what I didn't realize, that I wasn't failing in those moments. But to me, it felt like it. It felt like I was like drowning. What was happening was this identity shift that was going on. And once I saw that, once I had that realization, I just stopped panicking when growth felt unstable. And when we like think about control, it's like we know what's going to happen next, how things are. I, we wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, brush teeth, do this, do that. Like we've got that control of how things work, what tends to happen, what that means, what that looks like, how that flows, what all those things mean. And having control, it just means things are just predictable. We just know how it rolls. We know what's going to happen. Uh, for me, in regards to my freelancing type of job, I just know these jobs, safe jobs. I go there. I know what's expected. We do the stuff. We're out next. We do like that was just how things were. You go into a space, you know the department, get familiar around with the people, you know how that is. Like that illusion of like, yes, you're in control of things, right? And in that sense, not necessarily stretching, not necessarily like anything's changing. It's like just mundane of you go and you know that work is scan, 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 scan. That's it. There's just nothing. I remember doing a job where it was just data entry, and it's literally bunch of numbers, key them in. I didn't last long. It was just literally that. For some people, that's the best job ever. They just love to know what they get to do. There is no brain, what's the word? Stretch. It's just you just know. There is what to expect, how things flow. You know how that rolls. Like that's there. And in that sense, when you like think about it, that illusion, we might think, yes, we're in control. Yes, like for me, like in my this thing that I'm doing, uh, I know my stuff, I am calm. Um, I do whatever that is, but at the same time, we're still kind of like playing small because we're not fully owning it and we're not fully in I was gonna say season of okay, yeah, this is what role, but really thinking that yes, I'm controlling stuff. At the same time, when I you think about the expansion of things, of what that gets to feel like that more visibility, that more, in a sense, responsibility when you're wanting to go and like really stretch yourself. Um, and when we're expanding, we're having even opportunity of things that are happening, things that are doing. We get to be in bigger spaces or doing more things. But at the same time, that bigger room all of a sudden can bring the tension in place, can bring the second guessing, the like the hesitation of okay, what to expect, don't know, like all those things. Even it feels like we're wanting more and wanting to expand. Now, because of that unknown, we're second guessing, and this stretch is now bringing in all these old habits to suffer, like in us resurface, like to like just come back. And this is the thing, it's not because that there's anything wrong or there's anything that is the issue. It's just because now that we're on this stretch, it's just so unfamiliar. It is just not knowing. So in that sense, it feels like, oh my goodness, what are we doing here? What what are we doing? Right? Because I remember a time when I what's the word? I was going into I was now like I was in a season where okay, now we're doing this expansion thing, we're doing whatever. And it's a case of whatever job comes in, if my calendar is free and it's in my remit of what I can do, I am taking it regardless of if I've been in that location before, if I know what to expect, if I have whatever. And the loss of control of what is this place? Um, what does this mean? You're Googling it and figuring out what do you expect in this space? Not like now, things are so easy to figure out or to like analyze and all those things. But back then, it was just kind of like, I, c- w- w- I don't know what I'm going to see tomorrow. I have no idea what this department is. I'm searching, I'm asking folks, colleagues, what would you expect in this kind of space? Nothing is really clear. What I'm finding online is very vague. Nobody has been in this place before. And it just felt like, oh my goodness, like, what am I going to see tomorrow? How is this going to plan out? I have no idea what I'm about to put myself through. And I'm there searching and figuring out, like, what is this for the longest time? Going and going, driving myself potty, trying to figure out what would I see tomorrow? Because I just wasn't in control of how, what to expect or like in control of how it works or at least finding out what to like what I might be able to encounter there. It's the weirdest thing. I remember even like sometimes I'll do a job, right? And or before I go and do the job, like just inquiring. To me, if I was a coordinator, I'd just be like, you know what? Then I don't worry about the job. I'll find someone else. I would ask questions and ask questions. So who's going to be there? How many people are going to be there? What's the location? What kind of things are they like? Do they do their, what's the name of do they have like a um the department, like the what specific ward? Because by the time they tell me what, I'll go look for it and be like, oh yeah, but what, where in there are they? Like what are they under? Who will be there? How, I tell you, the amount of like questions, like sometimes I even have pre-questions in just to find out every, try to control and know every aspect of what I get to see in the location. What, how, like, if I could ask them, like, do they have the, what floor is the canteen? Or like, where, literally, like, even to directions to the place. Because of how sort of like my nervous system was just on high alert. So I was there thinking, okay, let me control every situation, try and figure out everything, try and know everything that I can before I go and show up, so that when I show up, I am there. I've got this, and everything is like in alignment. And like I kept doing this and doing this, and the overwhelm and the stress that would come from the doing and like trying to figure out and all these things was just making things worse and feeling like I can't, like this, I can't keep doing. I do not. And for me, like, it wasn't that I was losing control. What was really happening was I was just losing my old identity. My whole identity really wanted me to, this is what we do. We go here, we come here, we know what to expect. We are good. We don't need to do anything else. This is how it is. But the other side of things is where growth is. And with growth, it doesn't always feel stable. It doesn't always feel like known, done. What it does feel like is recalculate. Can't say that word. Recalibrating. Did I say it right? Let me know. You know, it's just kind of like we're expanding this new place. So, like for instance, that place, right? That I was like doing all this research about, trying to figure out what exactly is this department about? What do they do there? How does this da, 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 da. All that back and forth, all that thing that was just happening, all that dancing? It was just a case of like, I don't like, I just can't. And with that instability and doing it, I've now grown into that extra bit now. I've now like realized that, oh, we survived this. It was okay. You all right? So we can do this more, right? This felt okay. Or even if it didn't, it would like stretch. It's like, okay, at least we know. And then now there is that reassurance. So we've now grown and gotten another carve out of like, oh, we've done this bit now. We know this stuff. So we kind of like have an idea of what this gets to look like. And then when we start kind of like really considering it, because of how the brain is reads every unfamiliar thing as a threat. Like this place that we've never heard of, and we don't even know anything about it. We can't even find any information that can tell us a hint of what could be. All they're saying is, I am capable of doing the job. Even people I've spoken to, like, yes, you can. And it's like, how can I when I don't even know exactly what is expected, what is in there, what I have to do, and all those things? Nervous system was saying threat, no good, nowhere. even when it's aligned, even when I am capable of doing the thing, even when I am qualified to, it's still seen as a threat. It's still seen it as whatever, even though I want to have, like, I have the desire to expand and get more opportunities and get more places where I have the option to decide if this is, if I want to go and do a booking there or do here or anything like that. I want it. I desire it. At the same time, feels dangerous, even though it's kind of like aligned because I am trying to do it. I want to do it, but at the same time, my body is trying to protect me from what could be. I don't know what's there. I have no idea what could happen if I go there and I'm exposed that, oh no, you're not supposed to be here because you can't understand what we do here or you can't interpret what we're expecting of you. So my body's like, let's just protect ourselves and just stay where we know. Let's just hang and be at the place we know what to expect. We have no issue because what my brain is interpreting this scenario and all these things that are happening as this is wrong. We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to. But here's the thing. Why, it's like I there has to be that shift and has to be that awareness reframe of the whole situation of what's going on. That instead of me like looking at it, oh gosh, why is this falling apart? I can't figure out this thing. I don't know what's going on. I have no issue. Why not be a case of what is this thing, right? What's this version of me trying to dissolve? What am I trying to let go of? Asking myself that question so that I can just relax my nervous system so that I can then, okay, see what it is that I get to do to then expand on that. Because this is the thing, saying that one of my clients that I worked with, right, having desire that they needed that visibility, they needed to be in front of the right people and to start getting the message right and then getting clarity and knowing that they get to post. It's kind of people that like would going about and just be collecting, taking pictures or just filming themselves and knowing that they would use that but never do. And realizing, okay, but I do want to post and I have so much to say or so much to do. But there is this space of like, they carry a certain image and that perfectionism showing up and acting. And I just cannot just wake up and just post anything. But I know that I want to post, but I do not, I want to, I just don't know why I'm not doing it. And when we like really boiled it down to, it turned out that it was that perfectionism thing. For them, it was more about how the self-image of how they get to be seen as if you're this person of high class and everything. Why is this thing you're putting not, why doesn't it look right? Why is this not as it is? And when we really boil down to like figuring out, okay, it's the perfectionism of it. And okay, So posting, when you think about the posting, what happens is you're having this feeling of, oh, it has to be a certain thing and it has to be that. Okay, so now that's the control that's going on there because of how we get to look like. And what would happen or what would it be if you do the post and what that gets to look like? Or people will say how I'm not how I'm supposed to be. And that is just going to, and then she couldn't say anything. It was just more the power that was just handing over to the unknown or to like, oh, I'm this person, but I don't want to be seen less than or whatever. And then it's a case of, so if you then post it, figuring out, okay, what's the worst case scenario? What does that then get to look like? And then shifting it from, okay, if that's the case now, what's the thing that you can do to neutralize how the nervous system handles this? Because if it's, oh, how this person sees me, what these people might do, okay. If we then tie it down to, well, why do you want to do this? And you're doing a disservice to the person who gets to see you because of what this person might do that has like have no image. So what is that thing you can do that wouldn't have like it's about breaking it down to where it's like more like going back to like the crawling stage. What will be that next step slight thing you can do right now to just be someone that shows up or like post a thing or do whatever? Oh, I can try up in my stories first. Get used to the stories. Okay, then start showing up in the stories. And then over time, we then graduate to the other bit. So most time it's not always about, oh yeah, yeah. There was something. And it's what is that feeling of because just saying, oh, post the thing, yeah, post it, but there's still that underlying feeling of like, what we protecting here? What does this mean that when that happens? And then figuring out, okay, people are gonna say stuff or whatever that's gonna be. Okay. When she posted on the story, it was now posted. Let's see, just notice what's showing up in your body. How does the body feel? Yeah. Don't delete it. Journal on it. See what's coming up for you. See how that is showing up. What's happening, how you're feeling. And then from there, able to just work on those things that were showing up. Because that's the thing that we get to work on so that the body can then get back into that alignment and start working on that stretch thing to be comfortable to now properly posting that it is now like a regular thing. And that's how we can like now get the things that we can't control to the point where it is manageable and it is in a phase where that things are happening, things are flowing and expanding and working out in that sense. Because if things feel unstable, there is an underlying reason why that's the case. There is an underlying reason why the aches are there, or the like feeling, or whatever that gets to look like is that is causing that feeling of the instability, that is causing that feeling of like, oh wow, I just feel like this. I don't know what's going on. I just feel like everything's out of control, or whatever that is. Having and knowing those things play a huge part in what that gets to look like. So yeah, so if things feel that way, it might not be chaos. It might not be. And if anything, it might be expansion. Like the stretch goal to that next level. They're doing that would help to get one into that bigger space, that aligned space as you would have it. So yeah, not everything that we do we have to like have the control for, or we have to have like it has to be this way. If not this way, then it's not other way. Yeah, we get it to make it as we want it to be, so that it can be, yeah, getting back into that aligned state and just feeling like chaos might be expansion, and it's okay for us to roll with that, for us to like do whatever is required for us to be there. So it's all good. Remember that your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Nene here. Bye for now.